dream?
A dream is your cherished aspiration and ambition. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. But a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. No matter how meticulous you plan the path to your dream, there will be distractions and misleading. If you give in to them, they will rob you of your dreams and deny you that excellent future. And the promising dream dies. When you don't achieve your dreams, you cheat the world from experiencing a star. Don't cheat the world from experiencing a star. Say no to drug abuse. Call 0800 1020 3040 for help. This message is from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.
Welcome back to Narco Tales, where we share stories of struggles and triumphs. I remain your host, Netta Widozie. On today's episode, Damilola shares his powerful story of overcoming substance dependence. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Please, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, sure. I'm Akinshe Damilola, also known as Seyi. I come from a family of 6. I'm Yoruba from Ondo State.
You started abusing substances in your SS3. What was the first substance that you abused?
The first substance I got access to was weed.
Okay.
And this locally called Igbo, the one you produce. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I had access to this substance right from secondary school, SS3, due to my curiosity and the friends I had, basically.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, thank you. So basically, my friends were, other schools, had different various activities. And I had to ask, what do you derive from this? What do you derive? Do you find any euphoria, any happiness from this? They were like, why not try it out? Out of curiosity, I took it up and I tried it. And I must say that was the beginning of a journey in drug abuse, basically.
Okay, so what happened next? Now give us the full story.
Well, while I was in school, I was the senior prefect of my school. And I was also, the best student in mathematics. So I had basically different responsibilities in school. So having to juggle both, my family and school was having a serious toll on my mental health. So I had to succumb to the use of drugs, to keep me sane, to keep me cool, and things like that, to take my mind off a lot of those responsibilities. So that basically was why I involved myself in drugs.
Okay. You mentioned feeling relief, and you also mentioned deviation from reality whenever you were on substances, right?
Yes.
So how did your use of substance affect your relationships and daily life?
Yes, thank you. While I got admitted to FUTA. While in FUTA, I had to relate with everyone, I had to relate with people. But I discovered I was, becoming distant from the rest of my departmental mates.
How was that?
Because, I said, they were not doing what I was doing, basically. And I became closer to other people that were basically doing what I was doing. And that was either smoking, drinking and things like that, doing drugs, basically.
Yeah.
So I think doing drugs secluded me from a lot of people, a lot of life-changing activities, I must say. And I think that really took a toll in my life, basically. Yeah.
Okay. So your dependence led to you using harder drugs, which led to psychosis and then schizophrenia.
Yeah.
What was the scariest moment in all that for you?
Yeah. While I was in FUTA, I happened to secure a scholarship. Well, known to me, it was a 50% scholarship. But I already left FUTA, I already got my transcript and all my documents. So I had to stay back at home in Lagos. So while in Lagos, I was also more exposed to drugs. Someone that just left school, indirectly drop out, indirectly. doing anything. You're not working, you're just at home. So basically, you have to succumb to something.
True.
And that's just drugs, basically. And that really affected me. It got to a point where my family were like, I needed to go back to school. So I had to, go back to school. I went to the Republic of Benin, Cotonou. So I got admission there and I started my education there. Then I graduated 2019. But while I was in the Republic of Benin, I must say the same thing there. I was also, smoking, going to school too, and things like that. But I haven't finished my education. And, when I got back to Nigeria, I happened to recall. I tried to connect with my friends. That's from
the same friends from.
No, friends from the Republic of Benin.
Okay.
While I was in Cotonou then. Yeah, so I also, that was 2020. Yeah, I went for my masters in Cyprus. Yeah, and 2021, I wasn't able to complete my masters because my family had to call me that my dad wasn't feeling too well.
This was 2020, right?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came back to Nigeria 2021. I couldn't finish my education there. So I had to look after my parents and everything. When I found out that everyone is okay, they were just missing me and everything, I went back to Lagos basically because that was where I grew up and everything before my dad went back to my hometown after my secondary school education. Because while in Lagos, it was just me and my dad.
Okay.
So that was just the relationship I had with my dad. It was so close. So it was just me and my dad. So when everything was settled at home, I went back to Lagos. And when in Lagos, there's just too much freedom, too much access to everything basically. So I had to connect with my friends. Okay, yeah, where you guys? I'm back in Lagos and everything. So I think a female friend I had then in Cotonou, I had to reach out to. Okay, what's up? Are you back? Are you in Nigeria? Okay, she's in Nigeria too. Okay, she's coming to Lagos. Spend some time with me at my place. And from there, she began to tell me, have I tried these drugs? And she told me about methamphetamine, meth, which is known as ice, basically. Yeah. So she actually got me involved in doing such drugs because I was like, okay, I smoke and things like that. And they're trying to introduce me to a different one. Okay, let me just get that euphoria, get the catch the cruise, basically. So I got involved in such drugs, and from there I also got involved in drugs like I think Colorado. Yeah, because basically when you are moving up, whatever is down doesn't actually affect you again. You don't get any feeling from it. You also want to move up, and that is the problem with drug abuse. You can never get enough of it.
You always want more.
So that is just the problem. So it got to a point I began to hallucinate. I began to see things. I could be with you now. I could see as if there's another realm here.
Yeah.
Basically, so that's just hallucination, seeing things, hearing voices. We are both here, but I could hear about 10 people. I could hear voices from people from houses away. And this wasn't ordinary. To me, I felt I was different, I was special.
Oh my god.
That is what actually happens in that hallucination, basically. I felt I was different, I was special. But I didn't know I was already, psycho, basically. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So, it got worse. After a while, I was all alone back. After I got back to Nigeria, I was in Lagos then. So I was all, alone back and doing my thing and everything. I was doing more of drugs too. And I was always secluding myself. Whenever let's say you travel or you do things and you come back, there is this expectation from people.
True.
And it makes a lot of people to hide themselves from the world. Like they expect you to maybe have like 10 cars or have this change and forget that you are young and you still have your life ahead and things like that. So basically I began to seclude myself. I became more introverted. I didn't interact with anyone anymore. Just inside doing my drugs, staying at home, nothing. I got to a point I was having this, would I say, euphoria. I was too happy. I was too, it was getting weird. I couldn't, I couldn't relate with anybody, communicate with anybody without me, doing drugs. Without, if I don't see my drugs, I'm sober, I'm not happy and things like that. So it got to a point I became too happy. If I was listening to music, I'd listen to music super loud. Everyone in the area, they know it's me. You can't complain, basically. But at the same time, it was getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And this is why, I'm always grateful to my family and loved ones. My family were not with me while I was in Lagos, but I also had loved ones. And they had to, they noticed that what's happening. This guy is always at home, it's making loud noise, playing music, doing this, doing that. Is it normal? And they had to call my family, call my mom, call my dad, and they were back in Ondo State. That something is wrong with your son. He's in Lagos, he's at home. Something is wrong with him, and this is not normal. We're afraid this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And from there, they knew already, that this boy, it's getting out of hand and it's becoming something very serious. So my mom reached out to the neuropsychiatric hospital in Akure, Ondo State, and they got a letter there, approval basically from them. Then they went straight to Lagos to pick me up, my family members, and they brought me to rehab in Akure. So I must say that's the beginning of my rehabilitation, my change basically. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, how did your family and loved ones react when they first discovered your dependence on substances?
My parents, they're very, very, orderly.
Yeah.
They always, how would I put it? They have a reputation to protect, basically. So they always have to do things and think about it. That if you're doing this, what will happen if you're doing this? Hope it won't affect this. Hope it won't bring shame to us and all those things. Yeah, so they felt, I was of age and and that's just it basically. But they deep down they were not happy with it. They were not happy with it. And also while growing up, I didn't get to spend much time and all those with my parents and all that. So
Damiola's story highlights the dangers of substance dependence and peer pressure. Take this time to reflect on your own struggles or those of loved ones. We'll see you after this break.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Welcome back. Damiola, you've made significant progress.
thank you.
So you underwent some phases of rehabilitation. What was the most difficult part, the most challenging part of it?
I'd say it's the withdrawal, basically. While in rehab, the first few days it's always a bit tough, The withdrawals and everything, you feel somehow, because something is missing in you and something is trying to leave you basically. So that's just one of the stages that felt a bit hard for me. And one other scenario, a bit funny scenario while I was in rehab was that after a few weeks I got consciousness, I got conscious, I was okay, medication and everything. But there is this jig when you're in the rehab. How do you tell the doctors, the nurses, people that are taking care of you that you're okay? When you're in the mental hospital, how do you prove to them that you're okay? And every minute, money, they're spending money on you, you're feeding, you're clothing, everything. They're spending money. They're making money there too, basically. So basically, how do you let them know that you're okay? You understand? Without sounding like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're in the midst of, I won't say mad people, but mentally, deranged or, people that have mental issues, basically. Yeah. So how do you let them know that you're okay? You're trying to be like, hey, sir, I'm okay. Like, is this person okay? What is he doing? You understand? So that is one of the phases, I had to go through there. So, I had to comfort myself. I had to be calm. And, it's really changed me. Because I had to think about it. Fine, few weeks, I'm okay. I spent about 3 months there, basically. And that was, what made me a better person today. Because I was like, how do I convince these people that I'm okay? They'll be like, no, you're not okay. Because the more you're trying to, convince them, like, is this person okay? Why is it? Then you have to learn how to be calm. You have to learn how to relate with others. You have to learn how to, see the next person beside you as a human, despite the fact that that person has mental issues. You understand what I'm saying? So those are the things that, I got to learn there. Those are the things that I got to overcome there. And I must say it really shaped me and made me a better person today.
Okay, what strategies do you use to maintain sobriety?
Ever since I left rehabilitation, became closer to my family, and I became closer to friends who don't do drugs. Basically, I made sure I found new habits, new activities. I made sure I involved myself, in different activities that doesn't involve me secluding myself and just doing things like that. And this has really helped me, to overcome drug addiction.
Okay. How has overcoming substances impacted your general well-being and then relationships?
It has impacted my general well-being positively, and my relationship has become better. After my rehab, my time in the rehab, my mom had to convince me that I had to go back to service. I had to go back to my education and everything. So I went for my national youth service and I finished that. That was 2023 last year. And while I was during my national youth service, I was in the Agro-Allied CDS group. I was the president of my CDS group. I also was a one-time welfare director of my CDS group. So I was involved in various activities that didn't keep me to myself. During my service year too, I also had the opportunity to, involve my CDS group in various activities. For example, we had a very, very inspiring project on value addition on chicken processing, basically poultry animals and processing them. So in this sense, we got chicks from a very very known hatchery, and we took care of them. We took care of the chicks, and when they became at a full grown age, at a required age where we wanted them, we processed them, and we had to process it and everything. We sold them back to our fellow corp members, but this is just like a practice that we have to involve ourselves in the CDS group. Basically, I would say all this is due to the fact that my parents, my loved ones, supported me. Without their support, I wouldn't be able to go back to my education. I wouldn't be able to go back to service, basically, and I wouldn't be able to become whatever I am now today. I wouldn't be able to meet with the right people, basically. I would still be secluded somewhere, either doing drugs or be with the wrong set of people and things like that. So ever since I had my rehabilitation, I became sober, I became drug free, and all that. My life has become better. I'm able to, relate with people without needing a substance. I'm able to communicate with anybody without, needing a substance. I'm able to, meet up with anybody without, trying to rely on a substance, basically. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
What message would you like to pass along to those struggling with substance dependence at this time?
Just please don't keep it to yourself. Go out there. Let it out to people that this is what is happening to you and you're trying to stop it. Don't seclude yourself. Go out there, involve yourself with people that don't do such. Interact with people that don't do such, that don't smoke, that don't do such drugs, that don't do things like that. And from there, you find out that your life will become better. Things will become better for you, basically. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your powerful story of strength and resilience.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Remember, you're not alone. Reach out to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, for guidance and counseling. I remain your host, Netta, and I'll see you next time.
Don't do drugs, don't do drugs, don't try it though. He go choke you up, he go steal your sunshine up, he go shock you up. He don't kill him any youth for my area, even for your area. When you start it to stop, it no go easy. As you dey drag am go, he dey drag you down. Water come out from my eyes, oh, when I remember all the guys, oh, where many of them kicking bucket, oh, some cut to socket, oh, make we no forget, oh, no they talk it, oh, say, don't do drugs, rock up you see body, oh, don't do drugs, don't go wound your busy body. If you die, you go sad, oh. Oh yeah, help me tell somebody. Say, rock up, you see body, oh. Body, oh. Body, oh.
This message is brought to you by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.